Hello, welcome to the first episode of the FitzCast. Today I'm joined by Parker, a sprint free fly swimmer from Chicago, Illinois, and Connor Hunt, a distance free from Ridgefield, Connecticut. All three of us are part of the class of 2025 Michigan swim dive. So yeah. So Parker, you want to tell me a little bit about yourself, like, your background, how long you've been swimming for, and just sort of information like that?
Yeah, of course. So I started swimming when I was like 5 years old. It's actually kind of a funny story. So I was on vacation and I didn't know how to swim. I had no experience. And I was walking like into the house that we were renting. We were in Florida and I fell in the pool. I almost drowned. Like my grandma had to save me, which I mean, I was fine and everything. But my parents were like, all right, you got to learn how to swim. And I was terrible at every other sport. So I kind of just stuck with it. And, obviously it worked out and I, fell in love with it. But yeah, I've been doing sprint freestyle, like you said. That's kind of my main thing. I can't really do anything else. I actually did 100 IM today. Did not go well. The free and fly are really the only things that I can do. But yeah, I'm really excited for next year. This coronavirus pandemic kind of hasn't let me race in a year, but I'm just excited to get back and meet a lot of the guys, and it should be a great time. So thanks for having me on the podcast, by the way.
Yeah, for sure. Anytime. And Connor, a little bit about yourself.
Yeah. So, well, first of all, thanks for the invite on the, is this the first ever episode?
First ever episode.
All right. Yeah. So me and Parker again on this first ever episode. Yeah. So background about myself. I started swimming. I think I joined like a summer club team. That's like pretty popular around this area. Just like over the summer, obviously you can't really have outdoor pools in the winter. But so I started that in the summer, and then like probably when I was 5, and then I think just like wanting to do it for water safety, similar to Parker. And then my sister was on like a team, and so I always like was going to practices, like her practices and stuff. And so I kind of just decided, oh, like I'd give it a try. So yeah, that's kind of what I did. And then yeah, just kind of took off from there, doing a bunch of different stuff. And so fast forward to now, I've always been like better doing the distance stuff, like 100 fly when that was the longest, hardest event was my best event, like 10 and under. And then 13, 14, like 2 fly mile. Basically the longest event offered were the events that I did. So quite on the contrary to Parker's events. But yeah, like today, I think we did 15 200s. It was a long course workout this morning. We did 15 200s, which are supposed to be blue pace, which are all like pretty fast. I think I hit them on like maybe a couple, and it was 1 fly, 2 back, 3 breast, 9 free. So that was quite the rough set. But for I guess for a distance swimmer, like, it's not as bad as it sounds. But yeah, that's kind of where I am. I'm actually not in Connecticut right now, because of just like the lack of, we have a small pool, so there's not a whole lot of time if you can only have 4 people per lane. So that means our younger groups, which normally have like 8 per lane, they need like double the amount of time. And there's just not a whole lot of pool time. So we were looking at like hour-long practices, and it just wasn't really working out. So I was able to get a spot down here. So that's where I've been swimming.
Nice. And you're down in Florida right now, correct?
Yeah. This it's called Sarasota. I don't know, Brendan, how familiar you are with Florida, but yeah, it's definitely really nice. Staying on like a golfing country club, so it's definitely very much better than at home. The weather wise, and I'm getting great training, so I'm thankful to be here. And we have competition too. Yeah, we have like a sectionals next weekend, so that should be fun.
Okay. And are they going to be limiting the amount of swimmers that are there, or is it full capacity, or how's that working?
I think it's limited because they changed the amount of sites that there were. So originally, I don't think the Sarasota Sharks were going to host one, but now we are hosting one because of, I don't know, I guess whatever uh, restrictions there are. So like it's definitely um, higher capacity than I think would be at home. Like there's going to be basically at home we have like one or two teams per meet. Keeping them very small, but here there's definitely a lot more, and it's outdoors, so it's a safer environment.
Okay. And are either of you competing at Olympic trials? They're coming up soon, aren't they? They're in what is it, March or April or something?
Ours are in June.
June.
Yeah,
Close enough.
yeah. They're doing like two waves. I think because they're like
Yeah.
so many qualifiers. I don't know if they're worried about the space or anything. So they have like a wave one and a wave two, and so you make Olympic trials, whatever the times are, and then there's even faster than that is like a second wave, and so I would be swimming at trials. I have cuts in the 4.8 mile right now, and my mile time was just barely under the wave two cutoff. So I was able to make wave two, and I think that starts like June 12th, maybe. But yeah, like it's long, and I'm not swimming every single day. I'll have like a bunch of days off in there. But yeah, that's the angle, I guess, is trials.
Okay, and those are in
Yeah.
oh, sorry to cut you out there. They're in Omaha, right?
No.
Yeah, they have us in Omaha. So, and they actually, I just read something on SwimSwam. Um, I think Nebraska is allowing full capacity. I don't know if USA Swimming will allow that. But yeah, I guess Nebraska says you have the green light on full capacity. So um, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I am, so I actually don't have any yet. I was like 0.2 off in the 50, and then I think I'm like a second off in the 100. But I haven't. Unfortunately, I was not able to race any long course since it might be August 2019, which is ridiculous. So I feel like I should definitely be under, the trials cut when I actually, am able to swim long course, because just at this point, I was actually, funnily enough, Connor, I was in Sarasota for the month of December. Like my family went down there for vacation. Um, and so I didn't actually train with the team. I went to a club around there and just did sets that my coach gave me with my younger brother, which, was not ideal, but better than how it was in Chicago. They were basically not allowing pools to be open at all. So that's been really hard. But yeah, I'm hoping the trials when trials come around in June, I'll actually have, or before that at least, I'll have some opportunities to get those cuts, and yeah, it should be fun. Hopefully it actually happens, the Olympics. I've been reading conflicting articles about what they're saying over in Japan, but regardless of whether or not I make it, I hope everyone who has is actually able to. Yeah, we'll see. I don't know if it just cut off there because my brother's FaceTiming me, but all right, I think I'm back.
Parker, for you in Chicago, are they still like what were the rules? Because for us, they did like a pause on sports and they allowed like lap swimming, but they couldn't be like any coaches from I think November to like January 20th. So do they have were pools closed entirely, or was there just restrictions on that?
So basically, I swim at UIC, which is a college campus. So it was basically we had to do whatever they wanted. So from obviously March to like May, everything was shut down in the U.S. And then eventually suburban teams started opening up, but UIC was not open at all. So I was having to swim on my own at my gym still. And then they started it was like late September that we actually got back in the pool in UIC indoors in a 25-yard, which is annoying because we used to be able to swim in the 50-meter and 25-yard. So I get great overall training for both. But so since September, it was September to like November. Then we had club teams practicing And so that was nice. Except actually, a lot of the kids that were in my training group actually went off to college. Ben Sasavato's a year older than us at Michigan right now. He's having a great time, by the way. So it should be exciting. And then November came around, and then they told us we could only do lap swimming. And so what my club team did actually was, it's only a 6-yard 25 or 6-lane 25-yard pool. Sorry, they split each lane in half to accommodate more people. So the lane was like literally this big, and it was impossible to do anything. So I tried it out a couple times, and I could kind of do freestyle, and I could not do butterfly at all. So I just had to keep training at my gym, and then we ended up deciding to go down to Florida for December because I was doing school remotely at that point anyway, so it wasn't really that big of a hassle. So then I trained down there, and that worked out well because at least I had a full lane to swim in. But now high school season has started again. This is actually the end of the second week, so that's really exciting. Our first meet's on Tuesday. I'm doing the 500 free and 200 free. I'm not really looking forward to it, considering they're not really my events, but it should be interesting. But funnily enough, Connor, you were talking about how your practice was 15-200s today. I was telling Brendan before you got on, we had a meet warm up, and then we did 100 freestyle all out, 100 IM all out, and a 50 butterfly all out, and then a warm down because we had like a super, super intense week. And so everyone suited up. We brought tech suits in, and so we just got some fast racing in. For me, the first time it suited up since January. So it's been a while, but I'm hoping that nothing gets shut down again and I kind of get back into the groove because it's been a weird year. I'm sure you guys feel the same way. So.
Yeah, definitely. I guess sort of picking up on one of your statements there. So would you say the majority of swimming in the US is done through high school, or is it kind of like a mixture between high school and club, or is it mostly club, or like how does that work?
So I don't know how it is for Connor. I would imagine it's pretty similar, but when everything was normal, it would be high school season from like November-ish to the end of February, but I would stay on my club team until after Winter Juniors passed around, which is like the national level meet for 18 and unders. So I'd only have a couple months of high school swimming, but I actually only did high school swimming my freshman year, and then sophomore and junior year, I stayed at club year round just because it was much better training, and I had a lot more people to race and practice, and we still had a good amount of meets. But yeah, I would say the majority of the year, so like 10 months, I'm doing club, and so yeah, I really enjoyed it. It's definitely different now because everyone's gone and with Corona and all. But yeah, that I really had a very limited experience with high school swimming. But now my senior year, we're having a season, which is nice because it got paused, like Connor said, in Illinois as well. And my younger brother, who's a freshman, also on the team. So that, can you guys hear me? I think I might have lagged. My younger brother is a freshman on the team, so that I get to swim with him for the first time because we're never in the same group. So yeah, it's been fun so far.
Yeah, I mean, we're similar. I think it really is pretty regional, how it's done. So at least, and even like within states, like within the state of Connecticut, it's all kind of different. So club swimming is like the big thing. Like most people just swim like for their like year round as your club team. But then there's high school, and everywhere is different. Because there's a fall season, a winter season, and a spring season. And so I know down here in Florida, their high school season is in the fall. Up north, I think like a lot of the Northeast, fall is like girls swimming, and then winter is boys swimming. So we start like the beginning of December, and we run through like mid to late March. And so that is, I mean, yeah, it's just kind of like our season schedule. You have like 10 dual meets sprinkled in there. They usually start, like, we usually have one right before Christmas break. And then after that, we'll go like 4 and I guess probably like 5 actually in January, 5 or 6, and then finish the last 3 in February. And then you have kind of like a training block at the end of February, beginning of March, and then we have like our county championships and then our state championships. So I've always done high school because my club team and my high school team, the coaches are like the same. So it's always been easy to do high school and club and have that balance. I know some places the coaches will say, listen, like I don't want you to, they tell their kids they don't want them to do high school. So some people like won't do high school swimming entirely. And in the grand scheme of things, I guess it doesn't really have much of an impact whether or not you do it, but I think it definitely is really fun and like gives you more of a team experience than club swimming in general. Like, and not just doing relays, like rooting for everybody because you want to win. You don't really have that in club swimming. I feel like a lot of it is more, if you hit your time, then at the end of the day, you can go home happy. But in high school swimming, it's so competitive that even like it doesn't really, it's more about the place and you want your teammates to do well and you want the team to win. So I feel like there's just like higher stakes. And yeah, I mean, I definitely feel like I swim pretty well during high school, and I've done it all 4 years. And we field a good team every year, generally one of the best in our state. And yeah, I mean, we had my freshman year, we were great because we had Kieran Smith, who has the American record in the 500 now, and then AJ Bornstein, who's on Michigan right now. He's I think he's a junior, so we'll have 1 year with him. So Kieran would do backstroke and AJ would do breaststroke in the relay. And by the time the flyer got in, like the lead would be so huge that it was just like it was ridiculous. So yeah, I mean, it's always been a really fun experience, and there's good competition in the area. So I've definitely had a lot of fun with it. And yeah, this year is obviously going to look very different. I think we have less meets, and they're restricting our championship meets. So instead of every team going, there's only like a couple. Um, and I don't even know what they're going to do yet, if they're like compile results or what. But yeah, it's definitely going to look a lot different this year, but I'm still excited for it nonetheless.
Okay, so what I'm sort of gathering is like it's almost like a taste test of like what college swimming is gonna be like then, with like the whole like team environment and like dual meets sort of.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's pretty accurate. You definitely you get that team sense. The events are a little bit different. There's no 1,000 in high school, which for me sucks. But I guess for someone like Parker, that's it's great because high school is definitely like the shorter events. Because there's no 1,000, there's no mile, there's no 400 IM. So yeah, I do the 200 and the 500 pretty much every meet. So that's kind of like my lineup, and it's fun, and I think it is. Yeah, it's a taste of college and the team environment that there is.
So what are your guys' go-to suits then for swim meet? I know next year we're gonna be all speedo gear. What are you guys racing now? Do you have a preference or just kind of whatever you have available or yeah?
For when I was like doing 10 and under, 10 through all my age group meets, I was rocking arena, and that went pretty well. And then actually last year, for the most recent winter juniors meet that I was able to go to, I went with the Mizuno. I don't remember exactly which one it was, but it was a pain to get on. That was a wild experience. I remember sitting in the hotel trying it on for the first time, and it took me literally 20 minutes, which I know a lot of people say, "Oh my God, it took forever to get on." But it literally took me 20 minutes of sitting there and trying to get it on, and it worked out well. I had a good meet, but yeah, I'm excited. I've never worn a Speedo tech suit, so I'm looking forward to seeing what that's like.
Yeah, funny enough, so I'm almost identical to Parker. I wore arena basically. Well, I don't really know what age I started like actually wearing tech suits. And now like is it a national ban? I know my state has a ban on tech suits for 12 and unders, I think. Or not like tech suits, but like they can't be like seamed, they have to be stitched. Uh so like all the suits that we wear are seamed, so I guess you can't wear those. But when I was that age, I think I wore arena, and then last March I think it was last March. We had a high school meet, and I put on a Mizuno for the first time, and I swam my. Oh no, it was a meet before that. I think the night before I had done the mile, I was pretty tired, and it was a prelims finals meet, and I think I was either like first or second seed in the 2IM. It was a pretty low stakes prelims. I pretty much knew I was going to be in the A final, so I said, "Oh, well, like try on the Mizuno now, since I've got it." And I put it on. I swam, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, this is like incredible! I love this suit." And I've pretty much swam with that since. I have the multi racer 3, but I got a 5 for Christmas, so hopefully in the near future I'll be able to try that. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I've never wore Speedo before, and I know they have. They just came out with a new suit, I think, recently, and my guess is by the time that we have our mid season next year, maybe they'll have another one. And hey, I think a lot of the suit game is mental, to be honest. And I don't know how much of an impact a specific suit will make. Maybe like a few hundredths of a second, or not even. But yeah, I think a lot of it is a mental game that you have to overcome. So yeah, I mean, Speedo next year. Look, if Dressel can wear Speedo and break world records, then there's no reason that I can't wear Speedo and be just as, and be great. So yeah, I don't know. I guess that's kind of where it goes from here.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I guess in my experience, like weirdly enough, I also kind of started on arena suits. I think I was racing I don't know, I think it was a core, something along those lines. And then I moved over to Speedo because my club was sponsored by Speedo for a long while. I don't know if we still are, because there's some politics behind it that kind of got messed up. But man, those Mizuno suits are nice. Like I raced in one last time I raced actually in February last year. It's just like for breaststroke at least, like I don't know, my hips are really high in the water, which is very different compared to other suits, especially the Speedo suits. Like personally, I'm not a huge fan of the Speedo suits, like the Racer X, even though that's that's been replaced already by the new suits. I haven't tried the new suits yet, but for breaststroke at least, the Racer X kind of sucks. And the what is it, the Laser 2, which is like classic suit. That one is that was probably my go-to suit for most of my breaststroke, just because it was nice and stretchy, but didn't really have much support otherwise. Yeah, it should be interesting next year. You guys both racing Speedo. Never have raced Speedo before, but I think it should be a good time.
Brendan, what's the club team situation? So I don't remember what team you're a part of, but how does club swimming work over there?
Yeah, so over here it's I'd say it's mainly club swimming as opposed to high school swimming. Like we have a high school season that kind of runs from what is it, September to I think February is normally when our championship meet is. I say championship meet is nothing really compared to what you guys have, like states, or I don't know if you guys have high school nationals, but it's pretty small scale. And a lot of our high school meets, they kind of run at the same time as when we normally have practices for our club schedule. So a lot of the summers who swim club, they just don't show up to like the high school meets until it's the championship meet. So it's kind of, for everyone that does show up to the high school meets, it's just total blowout for them. But then normally when it runs around to championship season, like it gets pretty good because you have all the guys you normally swim with during the club season. So it's some pretty decent racing sometimes. But yeah, I swim for Speedo swim squads. Again, we were sponsored by Speedo. I don't know if we still are. So I mean, we're kind of giving them free advertising if we're not. But yeah, I think our club season, we run pretty much year round. Obviously, we have 2 months in the summer off and like a week in the winter. But yeah, we swim all year round here outdoors because nice weather.
Oh, I was gonna next question for Brendan again. So I feel like you said that the last time you'd raced in a suit was last February. So what is it like for you, like competition wise, practicing with COVID and all? How I see, I mean, it's affected pretty much everyone in the U.S. pretty drastically. So I'm wondering how it's been over there for you in the last year or so.
Sorry, I should correct myself there. I did swim I have swum once in the suit since then. In December, I had French Olympic trials because they wanted to have like an early Olympic trials as well. But I mean, it's definitely been weird not racing because normally we'd have a week not a week, a meet pretty much every like 2 weeks to 3 weeks. And I don't know what it is about Dubai, but like everyone suits up for pretty much every meet here. I don't know if it's the same for you guys, but I find it kind of funny. And then when it, whenever you show up without a racing suit on at a meet, everyone just kind of looks at you funny. And I know that's probably the opposite with you guys. You guys only suit up for championship meets. Yeah, it's definitely been different. I mean, French Olympic trials was kind of a bust in my experience. It was my first Olympic trials as well. I have another shot in June though. Yeah, I mean, I know here our meets just got canceled for the month of February. We're meant to have 2 this month. So I don't know. It's kind of hard to tell where things are going to be going for our competition schedule for us this year. So.
What about like regulations in general? Like a lot of the places here have mask mandates and stuff. Like you can't go in public areas without a mask. There's a lot of capacity restrictions. Is there stuff like that over in Dubai?
Yeah, I mean, we've had masks mandatory since probably about March of last year. And like we went into lockdown. We were probably one of the first countries to go into lockdown. I think we went in like March 18th or something. And we were locked up until I want to say July. But yeah, masks mandatory everywhere. There's pretty big fines if you get caught without one, or if you're not wearing it correctly as well. Capacity at indoor places. I know recently they just bumped the capacity of the malls and cinemas and all that kind of stuff down to like 70% and 50% for sporting facilities because we are full capacity for, I don't know, the last couple of months. But now our cases have tripled. So now we're kind of going back to, progressively starting to slow things down again. Hotels, they're limited to 50%, I think. Bars and pubs are closed entirely. Restaurants close at 1 a.m. now. So no more 24/7. But yeah, like, I don't know, Dubai is kind of a mess right now because, I mean, only recently as well. I'm not sure if you heard about the UK variant of COVID as well. Like, we closed our border with the UK probably about a week ago. So there was maybe good 2-3 weeks where we had a lot of UK flights coming in here. So definitely, I feel like the tripling in cases kind of came as a result of that. But I don't know, hard to tell.
Yeah, that's interesting. I mean, ours, I don't know. I feel like at least at home, I don't know. Obviously, well, down in here in Florida, there's looser restrictions, I guess. Things are open up a little bit higher capacity. Even like the football games, like the Bucks, I think they're having like 21,000 people for the Super Bowl, and so I went home and like visited like about a week ago, and then I came back here. And the stadium is right next to the airport. So when you're flying in, like you can see the stadium. And so like they've got it all decked out for the Super Bowl. And like Tampa is pretty vibrant right now. And it's still spreading in Florida, but it's not as bad as a lot of other states that have like harder restrictions. And I think that's because a lot of the stuff people do, especially like up north right now, you have to do it inside. But here you can do it outside, which is a much safer environment. So that's definitely an advantage here. But yeah, we had like curfews and stuff on restaurants. I think it was like 9 p.m. So not even like your 1 a.m. or 2 a.m. But like 9 a.m. New York City bars weren't allowed to be opened. I don't even know if they were open over the summer. But yeah, definitely a mess. And so it's definitely nice to sort of think that we have a vaccine coming, and numbers have seemed to be going down nationally, at least in the past few days. So hopefully that trend continues as more people get get vaccinated. So it's nice to hear. Like at first, the vaccine, it just seemed like something that was coming like so far at the end of the tunnel. But now, like I know people that have gotten it, and so it's like we're almost there. Hopefully next year when we start college, it'll be normal.
Yeah, hopefully, definitely looking for that authentic freshman experience. Otherwise, it's going to be kind of a bummer. But how are things in the Windy City, Parker, with COVID?
Actually, the reason I was able to start high school swimming was because so after the like 2 month pretty strict lockdown where the restaurants were closing really early. There was no indoor seating. You had to do takeout only. And so 2 weeks ago, like I said, everything kind of opened up again. I don't really know how long it's going to last for, but I actually was able to go see a movie in the movie theaters for the first time in a long time. I went to go see The Little Things. It was all right, but I was really just more excited to be back in the movie theater, with the popcorn and all, and the watching, like, I'm a big movie guy, so watching a lot of movies just like on my TV at home and then going back to the movie theaters was really exciting. But yeah, overall, I mean, it's freezing here. We've been getting, a lot of snow. I think we're reaching like negative like 10 wind chills right now, which is ridiculous for, after practice because we can't change at the facilities. I don't know how it is in Connecticut, but we have to, go to and from practice in our suits, which, if I was in Dubai, that wouldn't be much of an issue. But in the Chicago winters, it's a real nightmare. So having to like put pants on over my suit and then have my hair all wet and like my hair is literally freezing as I'm walking to the car. It's brutal. But the summer in Chicago was fantastic. Pretty much everything was open and it felt, almost normal. It was a little bit of a reminder of what things were like, before all of this happened. I was able to see friends, and yeah, it was great. The training was not there, but at least I had some social interaction, which again with school not really being able to happen was really nice. So
Parker, do you have a good any top, since you said you're a movie guy, any top shows or movies you saw on Netflix over like quarantine?
yeah, so I watched How I Met Your Mother, which I really liked, and then trying to think of the other great shows. Breaking Bad is a classic. That's my dad got me into that one, and then movies. Uh, so I'm a big sci-fi guy. I don't know if you guys have seen Interstellar. That's one of my favorites. Inception as well. Those kinds of movies are one of my favorites. Pulp Fiction, I actually really like that movie. I don't know if you guys have seen it. If not, then I recommend it a lot. But yeah, those kinds of movies are some of my favorites. So yeah, I'm looking forward to the new ones actually coming out and being able to go see good movies in the movie theater again.
Yeah, I mean, you got to think with having a year off from most movies, there's got to be they've got to make up for some ground lost. So hopefully they've got some good ones coming out, in the next few months. So yeah, I mean, I don't think I've really watched. I've never really been a huge like go to the movies. Like I'll go every now and then with friends, but I've never really been like a super fan of any movies. So I mean, I got into some shows over over like March, April when there wasn't really much to do. But yeah, I mean, I've never really been too much of a big movie guy. So I don't know. Yeah.
What about music? What sort of music do you guys listen to? And how would you feel the music situation's been with COVID and everything?
I like oh sorry, Parker, do you want to go? So I don't know. I listen to like a bunch of stuff. I mean, when I'm driving by myself, I don't know. It kind of depends. Like I'll listen to whatever's popular. Um, and I listen to rap as well. So, but I mean, like I said, I'll listen to anything. now that like I'm here in Florida, it's kind of weird. I've sort of gotten into country, and maybe that's just me being in Florida for 2 months, and like the warm weather. But that's sort of been what I've been doing. And I don't know, in terms of like COVID and stuff, I don't really think that it's really impacted music much. Maybe I listen more. I don't know. I'm a big Kanye fan. I was in his top 0.05% during in my Spotify Wrapped, so I'll take that as a nice accomplishment. But yeah, I don't know. I listen if I'm going on like a long car ride. I listen to like a bunch of podcasts and stuff. But like a short ride is going to practice. I don't know. I'll toss on like a song or two. I only live like 3 minutes from my pool, so one song pretty much gets me there. But yeah, I mean, like I said, I'll listen to whatever's popular.
Yeah, same. I have a huge variety. My playlist or my Spotify Lite is a mess. It's just a complete. There's no like, there's no rhyme or reason to the songs, and I'm terrible with making playlists. But yeah, I listen to a lot of rap, a lot of Kanye, Drake, those kinds of those artists. And then I'm a big alternative fan. Like I've been getting a lot back into like the Red Hot Chili Peppers and stuff like that. And I kind of move around a lot, but I have a lot of good friends with music tastes that are much better than mine. So I kind of ride on their coattails and listen to whatever they're listening to. But yeah, what about you, Brennan?
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of all over the place too. My main procrastination thing is making playlists, so I definitely got that over you, Parker. But yeah, I mean, I listen to like right now I'm kind of going through a country and like rock or metal phase. So a lot of guitars and stuff. But I kind of listen to anything that's interesting. Like I've got some Norwegian music I was listening to because like Dubai is super international, so I get a really good taste of all these different music cultures. So yeah, I've kind of got everything: pop, rap, reggae, whatever you can think of. I probably listen to it.
Brendan, I have a question, a little more cultural towards Dubai. So obviously, there's like a lot of like you think of Italy and food, like Italian food, or China. You've got your Chinese food. In the United States, whatever. There's a lot of like certain food that's really like geared towards Americans. In Dubai, what's something that's like authentically from Dubai?
Authentically from Dubai. Honestly, that's a hard question because I feel like our cultural learnings as foreigners here is kind of limited. I don't know the names of the foods. I could describe them, but that probably won't help much. I know one of them is like normally sort of near Ramadan. I don't know if you guys know what Ramadan is. It's like I guess it's the equivalent of like Lent in Islam, where they give up eating and drinking during the day from sunrise to sunset. So they eat at like right before sunrise at like 4 a.m. or something. Don't eat or drink all day. Can't take medication. Nothing. Most of the time they don't listen to music either, and then they don't eat again after the sun sets at like 6, 7 o'clock. Obviously that changes on country, but typically they'll have like a huge platter of like rice, and there'll be like a goat's head in the middle. And I think there's some other meats in that too. Again, I don't know what it's called. And then there's these other things that I really like, and it's kind of sad. I don't know what they're called, but they're like these little dough balls, and they fry them, and then they cover them in like this date sauce. Like dates are right. Like it's like a little fruit that you get on like you have palm trees, and it's like there's a date palm, which is another type of palm tree, and they're like little fruits, kind of like the size of prunes. So it's kind of sweet. And yeah, I can't really think of any other local foods here that are super huge to the region. Just because I haven't really learned about anything else. But yeah.
How long have you been living in Dubai? 'Cause are you originally from Canada?
Yeah, originally Canadian Chinese, but I've been living here for 14 years now. Before that, I was in the Caribbean. I'm guessing you guys have lived all your lives in Chicago and Connecticut, or is that not the case?
Yeah, I've been in the north my entire life. So uh, next year, I don't think the cold is really gonna phase me. I think Ann Arbor, like people think of Michigan as just like being freezing cold, but I don't think it being 10 in Ann Arbor versus 15 in Connecticut is really gonna make much of a difference for me. So I would say I'm pretty accustomed to the cold since I've lived in Connecticut my whole life.
Yeah, unfortunately, I've lived in Chicago my whole life. I think I'm definitely looking forward to getting a slight change, even though the weather is going to be the same. But I'm looking forward to heading off to Ann Arbor. My mom actually went to Michigan, so she's actually really excited for me. She's had a lot of great things to say, along with Bensa, who's been keeping me updated, uh, despite them, being pretty much completely shut down, and having a couple meets and stuff. But yeah, I'm hoping for his sake and ours that next year is a lot more open and normal than this year. So we'll see.
Yeah, hopefully. So it's interesting that both of you guys have teammates on Michigan. So would you guys say that kind of influenced your decision, or did that not influence your decision at all? And like, how was your sort of recruiting process? How did that go?
I mean, I guess for me, I wouldn't say it influenced my decision since I only have 1 year overlap, but it definitely gave me a lot of insight to what the team is like. And I've always wanted to study business, so AJ went to the business school there. And my final kind of school is I really liked Harvard, I like Michigan, and so I wouldn't say that it was like like an influence, but I think that I definitely got a lot of information about the school from him. And man, I don't know, I always kind of liked Michigan in general, just because um, of like the reputation it has with sports, and like college football and stuff. So growing up watching that, my entire family, my parents and my sister, go to or slash went to Boston College, but I don't know, it just wasn't exactly what I was looking for. So I didn't really look there. But yeah, I think I would say that I definitely got great insight onto what it was like, but I wouldn't say it was like one thing in particular that influenced my decision.
Yeah, I think that's a similar answer for me. Benza, when I was going through the recruiting process, he wasn't even there yet. So he pretty much was, on the same page as I was. But, he was always in the back in my ear saying, come to Michigan, it'd be so fun. And, him and I are pretty close friends. We're only a year apart. So that, I think I'd be lying if I said that it wasn't like a small, he wasn't a small influence, or he was a small influence on the decision. But, I think, even if he wasn't there, I think it was pretty easy for me in the end. My mom also in my ear telling me to go there because she had a great time. But I think I'm sure you guys felt the same way. Just felt super comfortable there. The coaching staff is great. I don't think you were able to go on a visit, right, Brendan? So you haven't really actually met the team, right?
Yeah, I never got to visit Michigan.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I know on mine, I had a great time, and it was great to find out that I had a spot there. So that was exciting. But I was gonna say, oh, and yeah, so I'm assuming Connor, you're applying to Ross as well. I know Brendan, you are. So I think all three of us, looking forward to those decisions coming out. Yeah, that was.
Fingers crossed
Yeah.
for February 19th.
I know. I keep getting emails in my inbox that are saying like congratulations, and they're for LSA, and I keep clicking them. I'm like, oh my god, like, did they send it early because we were like swimming? And then I click on it, and it's just for LSA. I know there was one a couple of days ago, and it was like information on your Ross application, something, and then the first line was congratulations, and then I kept reading, and it was like it wasn't for Ross, and it nearly gave me a heart attack. But yeah, we'll see. It's like 2 weeks away, I think. So it's pretty wild. I hope because I was reading the email, there's 3 dates. I really hope that we don't have to wait until March or April. I don't know if it's different because we're athletes, but yeah, it should be really exciting. So
Yeah, that would be brutal if we had to wait an extra month. But I mean, I sent mine in. I don't know when they start taking a look at them, because I sent mine in November. But my guess is they wouldn't look at people until they know they got into LSA. So I don't know if if they just started looking at people like when they sent out acceptances last Saturday or whatever. Speaking of which, I almost had a heart attack because everybody like got theirs, but then we still didn't get ours. And I checked the portal and it was like verify continued interest, and I was like, what? Like, better not have gotten deferred. But then it came in like a day later. But anyway, I mean, yeah, hopefully the 19th. But yeah, I mean, I don't see why. We're probably one of the first people that got, like, since we pretty much just got into LSA. I think we'd be one of the first people that like got reviewed by Ross, hopefully, if it's not random. But yeah, definitely February 19th. That would be very, very nice to have that out of the way and just like be able to kind of relax, I guess, for the rest of the year. And do you guys know if anybody else from our, besides us three, is applying?
Of the girls, I'm not sure. I don't know if any of the other guys are applying to Ross, though. No, I'm not sure.
found out because I'm counting down the days. But yeah, I haven't talked to a lot of the other guys at all. Much. I don't know what Cameron's doing. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like, but I feel like it's a huge. I remember talking to Coach Sam like last year, and he was saying that out of like the 40 kids on the team or the 30 or so guys, there's like 12 in Ross. So I think it's a super popular choice. So I mean, if 12 of them are in there already, I feel like that's a pretty good sign for us. But I don't want to jinx anything. So we'll see. But I'm feeling good about it.
I mean, I think that's one of the big reasons that people go to Michigan. Take into account, like, if you want to study business, there's not many places. Like Cal obviously has a great business program. But I think like the number one undergrad business school, I think, is Wharton. But like if you're, you want to study business, and you want to go to a great swim team, Michigan is obviously a great option for that. So I think that's probably why. And if I didn't want to study business, I'm sure that would impact my college decision. But definitely having that undergrad business school was a big factor. But yeah, I think all three of us have a pretty good shot. Looking at who's in now, the people that like got in, I think that we all have a pretty good shot. And I put good work into my essays. I really did a good job on those, I think. So I don't want to jinx it, but I don't know. I think all three of us probably have a great shot.
Yeah, because I've had so many conversations with my friends. A lot of my super close friends are not swimmers, and they've been complaining about how many essays they've had to write. And I had the 2 LSA essays and then the 2 Ross essays, and I literally spent like I don't know how much time. I spent a good chunk of time making sure those were good because I had really nothing else going on. So yeah, I we'll see, fingers crossed. But the only thing that's been scaring me is just in general how, and I know it's different for us because we're athletes, is just how competitive the colleges are this year. I don't know, Connor, I don't know, Brendan, I don't know how it is for you in Dubai, but for Connor, I'm sure that like the schools that have come out so far, it's been so much harder than usual. At least that's how it's been for me and my friends who are all like very smart. And they've been, a lot of them have been deferred from, crazy schools that honestly they were, you can never expect to get it anywhere, but they were feeling really good about it, and it didn't happen in early action at least. So yeah, that's the only thing that's kind of back in my head that with coronavirus and all, but
Yeah, I think
so
with like just so many schools being test optional, I think a lot of people feel like they can probably like, well, not that they can get in, but they have a greater chance not submitting a standardized test as as if they were. So I think that's probably played a big role. And I mean, colleges, you definitely have to admit a good amount of test optional people. I personally submitted a test because I took it back in like October of 2019, I guess. Yeah, 2019. And I did pretty well on it. I only took it once, and that was the end of it. So I was like, okay, I think like if I submit this, I should look pretty good. But definitely out of state, especially to Michigan, I think has been super low. And I don't know how accurate this is, but I saw somewhere there were like 55,000 applicants maybe or something. And obviously they don't even accept, I don't even know how many they accept per class. But yeah, it'd been very hard. I have one friend that got in and another one who got like postponed, is what they're calling it, but it's really like deferred. So yeah, and I think just like everywhere, even like people had some luck with early decision of my friends, but I think early action and regular decision is going to be really hard because there's just so many people that are applying to so many different schools. But yeah, hopefully people will be able to get off waiting lists because I think each like individual people are applying to so many different places. There's more applications, but the number of applicants is actually the same. So I don't know, maybe people will have more luck getting off waiting lists this year.
Yeah, hopefully. I mean, in my experience, the only other place I applied EA to, I got deferred, and the admissions department even said, like, if it wasn't for COVID, we would have accepted you. So kind of don't really know how to feel there. But yeah, I mean, yeah, I've kind of noticed that as well, like as a trend among my friends who've applied to the US, that, a lot of people getting deferred, a lot of people getting waitlisted. So hopefully they get off that wait list soon, but I don't know, it's hard to tell. Well, we're coming up to about an hour here. So I think this will probably be the, if anyone has any closing remarks for today's episode, now is the time. But other than that, I guess this is the end of the first episode. Any closing remarks, guys?
Are we going to run any segments? We're going to do best takes of swim swam.
Yes, let's do that.
All right. I don't know, Brennan, if Parker knew, but, and I mean, I guess we could always like pause it, but I asked Brendan, and we're gonna run a segments like best takes of swim swam or worst takes of swim swam. Just like people reading off of like comments. And I got to pull up the article here, but I saw one yesterday that was from, I think it was IU. It was an IU article. And it was about, I forget what it was called. Where is it? Here we go. It's like a how-to guide for Indiana's pulley and underwater video system. And I don't know how much you guys read SwimSwam, but there's this one guy named Guerra. I don't even know how you say it. It's like Guerra. I guess that's Guerra, which I'm pretty sure is like I don't know if that's war in Spanish. I don't know. But anyway, my hot take of the week is from Guerra. He says, on that article, he said, "This is why, if you want to achieve things you never dreamed were possible, you need to come to Indiana University to swim for GOAT coach Ray Luce. This man has more heart in coaching than anyone, and he's truly a genius." So that's my hot take. And then my best take was on that same article, someone said they need a how-to guide on using the transfer portal. So that's my best take and my hottest take on SwimSwam of the week.
I don't know if it really counts as a hottest take here, but or like a rough take, but there's one of these articles here talking about, what's his name? Henry Bethel, recent Auburn commit. And I think it must have been the person writing the article, but I think they wrote a UGA commit, but obviously he committed to Auburn. So I don't know if that really counts, but yeah.
Yeah, I think those swim typos sometimes are a little rough. But I don't know. I think anything that I've read from swim, they usually do like a pretty good job. I don't know. It's nice to have as much as people joke on swim. I don't know if you guys ever follow, like, I think it was like swim or like swim news or something on Instagram. That was like with the memes and stuff. But I don't know. People joke on swim, but it's definitely nice to have some coverage for our sport.
Yeah, it definitely helps, bring some light to our sport. The light that we don't really get as compared to, like, football and basketball. So it's definitely nice to see it.
Right. All right. Yeah. That's
Yeah.
Parker, you got something?
No, I was gonna say you'll have to have me on for another episode because I didn't know we were doing this, so I'll have to do some research and find some more. But yeah, I wish I'd known beforehand because I know I can't recall any off the top of my head, but I know there's a lot of people that are just they must just be so bored just going on swim and finding comments to finding things to like nitpick and comment about. It's hilarious, but it's such a small community that it's like the same people every time. It's awesome.
Yeah, that's my bad for not telling you beforehand, but you guys are definitely on at some point in the future.
All right. Yeah. I think that's, I don't know. That's all I got. Parker, you, anything else?
No, I think just again, thanks for having us on. This is great. This is my first ever podcast, so I had a lot of fun. But yeah, it's great to learn a little bit more about both of you guys because I think it's hard, virtually not actually getting to hang out. But I'm sure we will be able to next year. And yeah, thanks again. And if you ever need me on again, I'm game. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, me as well. I'd love to be a recurring guest here on the show. I don't know how much longer you're doing this for. Obviously, it's for school, but maybe you find a passion in the podcast biz, and you do just for fun, an actual podcast. So, but yeah, no, it's great. Thanks for having us on, and yeah, hopefully we'll be back soon.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks so much for taking that time out of your day to be a part of this. And yeah, there'll definitely be more episodes with you guys in the future. So I look forward to it too. It's a lot of fun. Well, I guess that's the end of today's episode then. This is episode 1 with Connor and Parker. And thank you to anyone who's still watching. I guess I'll see you next episode then.